Place for the City of Huron, South Dakota, City Commission meeting, Monday, April 4th, 2022, 5:30. Could I have a roll call, please?
Smith.
Here.
Commissioner Weinrice is absent. Drake.
Here.
Robish.
Present.
Mayor Harrington.
Here. Pledge of allegiance, please. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Moving on to agenda approval. Is there any amendments to agenda tonight? Does anybody have any changes tonight?
Move to approve the agenda.
Okay. Second, moved to approve by Commissioner Smith and second by Commissioner Robish. We'll have a roll call vote for this item.
Smith.
Aye.
Drake.
Aye.
Robish.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Public forum. Public comments may be sent during a live meeting broadcast to the city's YouTube channel. The link is listed on the city's website at www.hironsd.com/citygovernment. In order to use the YouTube chat feature, please create an account to your YouTube and Gmail or use your existing accounts. Please state your name and address. For the record, public forum is limited to a maximum of 3 minutes per person. And I know I have one person here that wants to speak public forum tonight, with Chad Schroeder, Park and Rec Director. You can have the floor for just 3 minutes, though.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll try to keep it under 3 minutes.
Okay.
So in the Parks and Recreation Department, we have a paddle boat that we rescued last week that we have in our garage up there. So if anybody's missing a paddle boat and it happened to be on Ravine Lake, we have it now up in our garage. So give us a call at the office and we will get that to you. Our summer recreation and fun guide is now out for our summer activities. We're taking registration for all those in our either online or in our office. So if you have your youngsters looking for something to do this summer, get a hold of us and get your kids signed up for our activities. And then our last thing that I want to talk about is summer employment. The Parks and Recreation Department is still taking applications for summer employment. We need about 10 to 15 more employees at our water park to fill our staff there, and we're down to where we need about 3 or 4 left on our maintenance side to get our staff full for the summer. 16 years or older is what we would prefer, and you can either apply online at HuronSD.com or stop in and talk to us, and we'll do a walk-in interview and get you hired on the spot if you meet the requirements. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Chad. Appreciate that.
Chad, is that 605-353-8533?
That is correct. Yep.
Thanks.
Yep. Thank you.
One item I have tonight is our absentee ballot. Voting is going on, still going on. It started last week, and it'll go through the 12th. 12th is when we'll have our vote. So if you want to come down to City Hall to do an absentee voting, you're welcome to do that. Let's see, I think that's the last I have of that. Consent agenda, matters appearing. I'm sorry, I'm going to go public forum. If we have anybody have any questions, our computer in the back room, they will be able to get a question to us and we could answer it possibly for you tonight. So just almost forgot to do that. Consent agenda, matters appearing on the consent agenda are expected to be non-controversial and will be acted upon by the commission at one time without discussion, unless a member of the commission requests an opportunity to address it. And any given item, items removed from the consent agenda will be discussed at the beginning of the formal items. 4.1, minutes of the March 28, 2022 City Commission meeting. 4.2, fuel quotes for city departments. 4.3, raffle, South Dakota Elks Association on May 21st at Crossroads. 4.4, permit filed by the Dialysis Foundation for a road/walk on April 30th. 4.5, recommend hiring Dave Silverson for the police officer position. 2, recommend hiring seasonal Broadman Creek Pro Shop attendants. 3, authorize human resource manager to update and adjust all job descriptions for the wage study. Number 4, recognize the retirement of Dan Vesh from the Huron Fire Department after 40 years of service. And I certainly would like to add our best wishes to Dan for the 30 years, and we'll miss all of his mechanical abilities that he has had over the years working on everybody's stuff in our city, so we would appreciate that. Moving on, number 5, request permission to post and advertise for a firefighter position. I entertain a roll call vote on that. Oh, I'm sorry, payment of the bills, 4.6. Now we're going to entertain a vote on that.
I did move to approve consent.
Commissioner Bragg moves to approve.
Second?
Second, Commissioner Smith. Roll call vote, please.
I'd like to say one thing.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's okay. I don't wanna just repeat, but Dan Vetch has put in 30 years on the fire department, but he has worked on more than just the fire department as far as, like you said, he's very mechanically inclined. We probably owe him as many wages as we paid him in 30 years for all the work that he's done on our mechanics side of it. And that fire department is a testament to what Dan Vetch has for service. So I want to publicly thank him, and very good, thank you.
Well said. Thank you, Commissioner Robish. Roll call vote on this item.
Smith.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Robish.
Hi.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. All right, petitions and communications, 6.1. I see we have had Dickey tonight from NEOC to speak to us about this, reading of the ordinance. Oh, public hearing, I'm sorry, public hearing for the fundings of city water and wastewater and stormwater systems. Ted, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. This is going to be a lot of a repeat from what we discussed last week. As I mentioned last week, I made a mistake and we didn't get a publication in time for a public hearing for last week, so I get to come down here and explain it again. Having said that, we also had a good meeting, I believe it was last Thursday, between the city, the engineer, and myself, where we went through it and nailed down better what's going to be actually applied for the city for this project. So I'm going to give a worst case scenario for each water, wastewater, and stormwater, and then I'm going to discuss what we're going to actually be applying for. So let's just get started here on the water side. Everybody should have a sheet in front of you. On the water side, the worst case scenario is we are applying for funding in the amount of $13,032,000. And if they award that amount in the form of a loan at a rate of 2.125% for 30 years, the monthly payback is $48,987.50. The yearly payback is $587,850. And then the 110% debt capacity is $646,635. For a refresher on last week, the state needs to collect an additional 10% up and above what you need to repay in the note in order to keep their bond rating where it is at. Going down to the next set of rows then, the amount needed to increase. Each dollar column there, for every dollar the city raises, it should generate $66,900 per year. Current rate is $35.47. This is per 5,000 gallons. So if everybody pays the same, this should generate $2,372,943. The additional amount water is if it's awarded all $13,032,000 as loan, the city would need to increase rates by $9.70, which generates $648,930, which is up and above the 110% debt capacity number of 646 above. Is there any questions on the math portion of this? Okay. The numbers down below then reflect what the city is actually going to be applying to the state for. So the state is willing to match dollar for dollar the city's American Rescue Plan Act funding. So the city is going to be receiving $2,406,209.50 in ARPA. The state will match that dollar for dollar. So the city wanted it all on the water side because the water is going to get done sooner. Is that the correct statement?
We got that in our 5-year plan right now without any additions.
Okay. So that decision was made, they visited with the state, they have no issues with that as well. The state is also, I'm getting this secondhand, but the state is also committing 30% of every project that comes in on this round, that they will provide them 30% grant. And so the 30% of that 13,032,000 is $3,909,540. And then the next line there talks about $4,310,041. That's the local share that the city's gonna come up with over the course of the next 5 years. So we're not in essence applying for any loan, we're only applying for grant. Is there any questions on that?
That spells it out pretty well.
Okay. So that'll satisfy the public hearing unless someone else has questions on the water side. If not, we'll move over to the wastewater side.
I have one comment, just, some of the feedback that I got was, so what you're saying is, at the very worst, our water bill would go up $10.
Correct.
Okay, that's,
At the very worst, and what I'm doing is I am check marking boxes right now because I wasn't sure of the process of this. We're not actually applying for loan, we're just applying for grant on this, but on the worst case scenario, if it was 13 million, it'd be $9.70.
right, and that's, yep, thank you.
Switching over to the water side, switching over to the sewer side, excuse me. For the DA&R on the wastewater, if the state gave you only loan in the amount of $6,345,000 at a rate of 2.125% for 30 years, the monthly payback will be $23,850.96. The yearly payback will be $286,211.52. And the 110% debt capacity number is $314,832.67. Following that down to the next set of rows then, for each dollar on the wastewater side should generate $64,836. The current rate of $34.93 generates the $2,264,721. Again, if everybody pays or uses 5,000 gallons a month each month, that's what it should generate. So on the wastewater side, in order to afford a loan of $6.345 million, the additional amount needed would be $4.90 per user per month for the wastewater side. Is there any questions on the math portion of that? Okay. The rows then on the bottom left of this sheet talk about wastewater. The city in this, on the wastewater side, is applying, since they're using your local dollars all in the water, there's no local dollars on, that's gonna be matched by the state. So the city's requesting 30% ARPA funding. So 30% of that $6.345 million is $1,903,500. And the city's planning on matching that with $4,441,500. If there's no questions, I'll go ahead and move on to the stormwater portion. So the stormwater portion, the city is applying for an amount up to $720,000. If this is all loan, the rate would be 2.125% at a term of 30 years. The monthly payback is $2,706.49. The yearly payment is $32,477.88. And the 110% debt capacity is $35,725.67. Looking down at the next set of rows, the additional stormwater amount column there talks that if you increase wastewater rates by 60%, that'll generate $38,902, which is above the 110% debt capacity. So that's how we came up with those numbers.
Ted, it's 60 cents,
60 cents.
and that, you said percent,
I'm sorry. Should be 60 cents.
scared me. Okay.
You are correct, 60 cents. Then on the bottom right, the stormwater columns there, we are applying for DA&R ARPA in the amount of $720,000. The state office of the state engineer is pledging, has pledged 4,310,000. I guess I didn't confirm that, but this project has already been bid, we're just filling in the back. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of it's just through this office, OSE,
Mhm.
and the 720,000 would be city's portion.
So we're applying just for ARPA money for that as well.
That's the storm sewer that goes under
The
the
Dex building.
moving
correct.
it and putting it in.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna quick note on those, even the sewer projects, are projects that are on our CIP plan. They're not anything special, not anything different. It's sewer lining, it's lift stations, it's SCADA. It's all things that are on our capital improvement plans.
So with the, we said this is if it comes through as a loan, we're hoping that more of it is grant money.
We're hoping that all of it is great.
So how does that change the 30%? They've said they will already, so would that just be, they would do the other 70, or how would that math actually look if more, or hopefully all of it is grant money?
Well, my understanding, I am not privy to all the conversations that have had on this. The engineer has been working directly with the state on how the state's gonna split it, and my understanding is the state is gonna give Huron 30% of the water side, plus match the local ARPA. They're looking to do the same thing on the wastewater of 30%, and then the stormwater is unique because it's the state fairgrounds, and so they asked that we split that out. My pay grade doesn't go high enough to understand all the details, nor would they be provided to me if I did request them. Is that a nice way to say I don't know?
Thank you.
And I can note a little, and Dennis probably can pick up some slack. In our meeting on Thursday, we talked about using all of our ARPA funds to match the dollar for dollar on the water side. And then the sewer is stretched out over 3 or 4 years. And
It
then
has
we're
to,
getting that
it
different.
has to be bid by 24, used by 26.
Yeah,
And the water, we're confident we can get designed and out of here faster than that. That's why we use the dollar for dollar on the water.
and we have to federally report this ourselves, and a water project is easy to report.
And what do we expect, the actual timeline? I mean, the government, so right, I don't know for sure, but when do we expect that we'll know whether it's loan or grant or those decisions?
The DANR will have a board meeting sometime late June and make decisions on this, and we will know immediately thereafter what it's gonna be.
Okay.
I think technically we could probably go to bid on these as soon as they're done. If it's all ARPA money, we would need to throw in Davis-Bacon as well, I think, in there just to make sure. But I think everything else is just gonna be no environmentals or anything like that are gonna be needed.
So is our plan then to have that all ready to roll? Because once the gates open on this, everybody all around is gonna be trying to bid on these same types of projects. So I assume we wanna have all of our ducks in a row, so as soon as we get the approval, we can turn around and
I think
bid
we
it
can
right
bid
away.
it now.
As soon as we
because
get our
they can-
plans, which we're hoping in the next
Yeah.
week or two, are ready.
We'll
We'll
probably
go
be
out to
coming
bid.
and asking for bids even prior to the funding being approved.
Absolutely.
Perfect,
It's already budgeted, so we're gonna run with it.
perfect. Thank you.
Any other questions for Ted? Yes.
And
Commissioner
maybe it's Paulin and Ted combo, but is there a specific reason why we are directing the city ARPA funds to the water side and not to the sewer side?
So in our discussion in our meeting on Thursday, just like I had said earlier, is water mains, we're ready for water mains. And it's easier to report to the
Just to
feds.
make it cleaner and easier.
Clean one project, get it done, get the federal reporting done.
We end up the same dollar amount either way,
Yeah.
so.
Okay. The only thought that I had on it was if we didn't get all the funding through grant, it'd be it'd get repaid quicker on the water side because of use, if we had to borrow money to do it.
It's hard saying with the state of the world, but I don't see us needing to borrow money for it,
Yeah,
so.
we're looking at that part.
I know that's the objective, that's
Yep.
just why I was pointing that out.
Yes, thank you.
Anything else for Ted? Thanks, Ted, appreciate it.
No need for me to come back next week?
Want to?
I can't think of one yet.
Okay.
Unless you're bringing pizza.
Let's see.
Bring the money, bring the money,
We'll be
Ted.
here either way.
I will be back shortly with shelter. I'm not sure. The city received funding for FEMA, and I know I'm getting off topic in there. But we need to do a reapplication because we're moving site across the road, and the first location now needs a new environmental and a new application because I think we're gonna be requesting more money. Prices haven't gone down.
All right.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Ted.
thanks,
Thank
Ted,
you.
appreciate it. Number 7, ordinance and resolutions. 7.1, we have the first reading of the ordinance number 2235-4, municipal solid waste scavenging prohibited and set for second reading on April 11th. And Tucker, do you want to talk on this one first?
Yep, so this is a ordinance that was requested by Solid Waste with regard to scavenging, just setting some parameters and regulations as it relates to scavenging. Perhaps Dale could give you a little bit more background as to the intent here, what we're looking to get at.
Dale Fortin, our solid waste department head is here tonight to fill us in on what we got on the scavenging thing.
Thank you, Mayor. So one of the things that we've been looking at what's going on with other communities and stuff is basically the recycling being maybe gone through and stuff for different things. So other cities have put in these things that if it's put in the container, it's the city's responsibility to pick that up and empty that out. So we went back and kind of looked at what we have. We don't have anything saying that if individuals put their garbage out, recyclables out, that somebody can't walk through the alleys and take out certain commodities that would be worth money or something. And even including the bigger dumpsters for businesses and stuff like that. So sometimes, a lot of times, people don't shred that information either. So this also helps keep that so that it's against the law to go through and look for something in a container that has been placed out for disposal. Gary talked to me, or I talked to Gary a little this morning. One of the things that was brought up or brought to his attention was the furniture items or something that is placed out on the boulevards and stuff. This was not intended to stop that part of the process. This is something that if you put it out there for the city to dispose of it, or a roll-off that you have Waste Management or one of the others that are coming into the city and put that roll-off there, you don't expect people to climb in there and take out the 2x4s. So more and more, some of this stuff is becoming a valuable commodity, and we're just trying to stop that from happening so that people don't have to pick up stuff out of the yards. And I did read through number 5, that you had that concern, but I can work with Tucker a little bit, but it's kind of, set out for collection. So if somebody puts a sign out there that says for free, they're not expecting us to come pick that up for collection. They're just putting it out there, and they're making that choice that anybody wanting to come and pick that up could.
That was a concern that was brought up this morning, that we don't want to take that away from the public either, because especially when we're doing spring cleaning or cleaning up at fall, a lot of people get a new furnace, a new couch from Rich. They put the old one out on the block, put a sign free on it, and away it goes.
And we see that with lawnmowers, with
Yeah,
other bicycles, a lot of bicycles. We see that. All we ask is that it's not propped up against the containers.
right.
But sometimes that does happen, and my drivers just get out and move it. But
And the same
Yeah.
token too, if that coach sits there for a week, we're gonna ask them to move it.
Right. So the purpose was not to shut down the repurposing, reusing of materials like that. It's to keep people from going through other people's containers.
Any questions for Dale on this topic?
Yeah, and I'd just like to reinforce what Dale and I talked about it again. I think the fact that the way it's written, saying in that number 5, set out for collection, which if it's intended to go to the dump, you can't go through it. If you put a couch out for free, that's not set out for collection, that's set out for donation. So, you know, I think the language is workable to avoid the concern you have.
All right, thanks Dale, appreciate it. So we're gonna have a vote on the first reading of this ordinance.
Move to approve first reading.
Move to approve the first reading, need a second?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Gregg. Any questions on this before we go on? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Robish.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Number 8, departmental items. Consider agreement, and I'll read this one. Consider agreement with the Department of Transportation Office of Air, Rail, and Transit Project number 3-46-0022-41-2022 for FAA designated eligible costs for ARPA funding may be used at the Huron Regional Airport and authorize the mayor to sign. And what this is, this is all grant money. We're putting in for our ARPA funding, and if it's approved, we'll be getting $295,000 a year for the next 5 years. And that'll be utilized to do it, to extend the taxiway at the airport, which hopefully we'll be able to utilize for larger airplanes coming in for passengers or charters and stuff like that. So that's what this agreement is. Any questions on this item? I guess I need a motion to approve. Motion to approve.
I move to
Move
approve the.
Commissioner Bragg, motions to approve, need a second.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Smith. Now, any questions on this item?
I would have one.
Sure, Commissioner Robish, yes.
Would we have a match on that then, or is this all
All grant,
100%?
100%.
And this would extend our runway, or what would it be?
It will extend the taxiway.
The taxi?
We're in the front of our hangar. Any other questions on this item? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Robish.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Okay, we're gonna go to 8.2. Consider the agreement with Top Floor LLC, management of Huron Event Center. And I see we have Brenda Yager here tonight to speak about this, so
I really don't have anything
go
other
ahead
than.
and add to it. What this is, we're just updating,
It's the same agreement, there's no changes.
same agreement as last year, there's no changes, that we just renew them each year. And so with that, I entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Mr. Bragg, motion to approve, need a second.
Second.
Mr. Smith, second. Any topic or questions you want to talk about on this topic? Roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Robish.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Okay, 8.3. Consider recommendation for the Capital Asset Committee for the Marine Lake Pump soft starter lake pump, Marine Lake Pump. And I see our Park and Rec Director Chad's here tonight. He's gonna give us a little topic on this. I need a motion to approve first, I guess.
Move to approve.
Move to approve, Commissioner
Second.
Smith, second, Commissioner Roberts. Now you're on, Chad.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. So this is the last phase of our project that started when we established a longer water right at Ravine Lake to pump from James River to Ravine Lake. When I first started in this position, we had from April to June that we could pump water. And now I applied for that amendment, which I came here earlier for, and we have that's been approved where we can now move water from April through the end of October. The pump currently doesn't have a power source because when we had that work done several years ago, Northwestern wouldn't hook it back up unless we had a soft start on that pump, a ramp-up start versus a on-off switch, which was on there before. So I'm just asking, neither Jesse Hayek or myself had the money in our budget to purchase this soft starter. And so we're asking for approval so we can purchase it, so that we can meet the requirements of the water rights, and also so that we can move water from James River to Ravine Lake if we need to do that. I guess if there's any questions on it, I'm ready.
Any questions for Chad on this item?
I'm just gonna note that we'll be using general fund reserves for this.
I guess I would have one
Yes,
question also.
Commissioner Roberts.
Thank you. Does the state tell us when the river gets too low if we can pump, or do they shut us off? Or
That is correct, yes, that's part of the water rights, the rules of the water rights. And then after August 10th, I have to get written permission from the chief engineer to be able to pump water also from August 10th to October 31st. So, and a lot of that, I think the engineer department gets a lot of those messages come down to them also. With all the pumps that we have the pump that pumps for Memorial Golf Course and the baseball parks and all that also.
Okay, thank you.
Probably gonna need it this year.
It's up again now, so
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. Then we won't need it April 1st like we were thinking we were going to. So
Any other questions for Chad on this topic?
I guess I'd just like to thank Commissioner Smith and Commissioner Bragg for helping me through this. We had a couple pretty good meetings with everybody to work it through. There's a lot of technical details that went on with it, so we're getting through it here, so thank you.
All right, thanks, Chad, appreciate it.
You bet.
Thanks, Chad.
I entertain a roll call vote on this topic.
Smith.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Robish.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. We're gonna go to 8.4, and I'm gonna relieve some of Commissioner Bragg's duty on this, because we do have a distinguished gentleman from our solid waste department, Dale Ford, here tonight.
Pressure's on. You gotta do it at least as well as I would've done.
Yeah.
You're
Thank you,
in a
Mayor.
hot spot now.
We have been getting a lot of calls on this, but whether, it's tough to decide. So Wednesdays, throughout the month of April, we're gonna pick them up only on Wednesdays. And the reason that is if it freezes overnight, this material's been sitting in there throughout the winter. So we're gonna send the trucks out about 10 o'clock, so at least sun gets out there and maybe, warms the containers up. We don't wanna break people's green containers, so we'll do that the whole month of April, and then we'll go back to, in May, the day of your regular pickup, the green containers will be out there also.
Any questions for Dale on this topic? Thanks, Dale, appreciate it. Nothing else?